Returning now to our top story, and Barack Obama doubling the funding for clearing unexploded bombs in Laos. During the Vietnam War, the U.S. heavily bombed the region, targeting a rebel supply line running through Laos and Cambodia. Close to 270 million cluster munitions were dropped on a population of 3 million people. That makes Laos the most bombed nation per capita in history. A third of those devices are still a threat because they remain unexploded. The weapons have killed or injured around 20,000 people since the bombing stopped, many of them under the age of 14. Well, joining us now from Dumfries in Scotland is James Cowan, the Chief Executive of HALO, an organisation specialising in the removal of the debris of war, such as mine clearing. Thank you so much for your time, James. So you have the US pledging an additional $90 million here to help Laos clear these unexploded landmines. Is it enough in your opinion? What's the extent of the problem there? How long will it take to clear these bombs?
Well, thanks so much. The first thing I'd like to do is to congratulate President Obama for this pledge of $90 million. It's a really very significant pledge, and it contributes to his policy for Southeast Asia. What it will allow us to do is to end a problem that has persisted in Laos for 43 years since the bombing of Laos ended. 43 years after that point, there's still 40 to 50 people being killed every year by unexploded munitions. So what this will do is mean that we can conduct a survey, because the trouble with cluster munitions dropped from the air is that it's very hard to say exactly where they are. So what we will do is survey the entire country in cooperation with the Lao authorities. We're working to the Laotian government, and as a result of that survey, we will then be able to clear the remaining munitions and bring this terrible problem to an end.
James, forgive my ignorance, but just how dangerous are these weapons still today? These are old weapons, are they not? How is it today that they still pose a danger 30, 40 years on?
Well, this is the terrible thing about mines, cluster munitions, and the other unexploded ordnance of war. Across the world, they still persist. And whilst other wars end and life moves on, these weapon systems remain buried in the ground, just as lethal as when they were first dropped. So it's really very important that we clear these munitions, because the people most at risk are, in fact, of course, children who go out there, see a shiny object, think it's a toy, and then, of course, it is completely lethal in their hands. So clearing this is really very important.
And it's not just Laos, is it? It's also a problem in Cambodia and Vietnam as well.
It's still very much a problem there. But I think what's interesting is that the rate of clearance in Vietnam has gone at a much faster rate. And, of course, Vietnam is now being opened up. So it's not just the terrible injuries caused by these weapons, but the possibilities for inward investment in a country like Laos, which is very poor. If we can clear it of munitions, then foreign investors will come in, the economy will grow very fast, and Laos will thrive as a result of President Obama's announcement.
Okay, James, thank you so much for your insight and your time. James Cowan, Chief Executive of HALO, joining us there from Scotland. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.